So today we're just going to show you a little bit more of the process that we go through to teach the siding up exercise. We're going to show you how we do this with Black and the whole process, and then later on we're going to do it with a horse that's never done it before, so you can see where things might go wrong and where you need to correct stuff. Essentially the idea is that we touch the outside hip with a stick, and that we ask the horse to take a step over. So initially when we started this with Black, all we're looking for is just being able to touch the other side of his hip and for him to take one step towards us, and then we drop the pressure, tell them how clever they are, and leave them to process that. So it's really important that you don't try and move through this too quickly, and just one step at the start. We really need to lay the foundations that that's the move that we want. So when we started doing this with Black, we normally just bring him up to a fence line facing straight. So if we use the fence line here, so we're going to stand up here. Oh, he's already doing this. So he's parked quite well, but I would like him to be maybe another step over. He's a little bit further out. So we're just going to touch here with the stick and click. And as soon as he gives me a step, we stop, let him rest, tell him how good he is. If you have a horse that's particularly food orientated, you can use treats to help with this, but then you tend to find that if you start to use treats, they'll bend their head round this way, which will make the bum go that way, and that's kind of not the object of the game. So, just to show you that again, bring him right the way round this time, so hopefully we might get a little bit more of a demonstration. I'm going to park him this way. Stand. He's already trying to offer us. So we stand up here. Up the tap. So I want another step over. So I'm just going to tap until he takes a step, and then we stop. If your horse doesn't take a step straight away, you just keep gently tapping until they make a move in the right direction. If they continue to swing the bum outwards, if you've got a really long stick, just keep the pressure up until you get the step in the right direction. So once you have them up to the fence line here, you can take up your position here. Oh, stand. And we're just going to ask the hind end to come in. And once he's stood nice and close and still, again, I want him to move the bum this way, and then the pressure goes away. He gets a nice scratch, that's good. So every time he feels the whip touch the other side, he knows that that's a cue to move his bum over and stand nice and gently. And then we just give him lots of scratches and tell him he's really good. Just let him stand here and rest for a minute and process that this was the right move. Good boy. And so once you've got to this point, you then want to be starting to do things like pick up the reins and make sure so there, and just tapping until he moves over. Good boy. And so we pick up the reins and we ask him to stand there with the reins being held. The next step, once they're happy with that and they're standing and letting you pick up and drop the reins, is to start making a little bit of movement on the saddle. You can even start putting your foot in. So just move him back to where he's supposed to be. So wiggle the saddle a little, put your foot in the stirrup, put a little bit of weight, and just make sure they're happy to wait and stand while you do this. And again, take the pressure off, tell them they're really good, walk them away. So they get a little bit of release from standing there. And then again come back, ask them to step over, pick up the reins, make sure they stay there. I'm just going to ask them to step one little step more over. Good boy. Stick here. Scratch. Move the saddle. Put in the stirrup. Make sure they stay, and then they get the release from that. It's really important not to try and rush and be tempted to just scrabble on. We really want to instill the behaviour to be consistent and that they generally wait in that position for you to get on. So once he's sided up again, wait. Here I give him a little correction and tell him I want his head that way and I want his bum here. And there's a good boy. There's a good boy. And then we wiggle the saddle again. Good boy. And put our foot in the stirrup. Good. And then once they're happy with that, you can... Good boy. Once they're happy standing and you've got your foot in the stirrup, you want them to just relax before you attempt to get on. So stand there, have a jump on nice and gently, tell him what a good boy he is. You might want to try doing this a few times, not carry on with your riding, jump off, come back, do it again. So repetition is the key here, and also having your horse standing quietly and relaxed so that they find this place a really good place to be. This is a really nice place where they get lots of rest, left alone when they make the right decision. So in the next session we'll be showing you how to do this with a horse that's never done this before.